biceps today. Ow. Ow! This is SnakePitDad, and I'm part of, you know it, TeamMetallicaMom. Take Shape for Life. Wearing my Under Armour Take Shape for Life shirt today. Alright. And we are going to make my meal plans. Now, as you guys know, I am on a different health journey right now. I've been weight training every morning, lifting heavy, lifting right, lifting careful, and then eating on a caloric positive so that I can hopefully grow a new body, which is what I'm working on right now. And I'm trying to do it slowly and steadily. I'm trying to make sure what I eat is nutritionally dense, and I'm taking in about 3,000 calories a day, give or take. And keeping the sugars down low, but really trying to make sure I've got healthy foods going into my body as best as I can. So here we go. So today we're going to do a couple meals here. I've got some chicken that I've already cooked, put a little adobo on there, the light adobo seasoning, and olive oil. That's it. Bake them for an hour and then let them sit in the oven for another half hour until they become rock hard, which is the way I like my chicken thighs. I'm also having, because my butcher had this on sale, filet mignon. I don't normally do this, but they were ridiculously cheap. So I grilled these last night, nice and simple. We had some Mediterranean seasoning on there, slapped that on there. So we're going to make a salad to complement the meats right now. All I've done beforehand is take a head of lettuce, or rather romaine lettuce, and chop that bad boy up. I then have, as you can see here with my quasi-dirty hands, some feta cheese. It is my favorite cheese to add to a salad. We're going to add some beans. I think beans are one of the greatest carbohydrates you could have. Cannellini beans. And in that one can was about 3.5 servings. My next bean of choice is something that I've never had before, and I cooked them up earlier today. These are called mung beans, and I did this to recipe. They are green. They have a texture of barley, and they're kind of snappy, kind of crunchy. And I did this again per the instructions on the package, which was 1 cup of beans dried, and then 4 cups of water. Brought it to a boil, let it simmer for about 30 minutes, and this is what you end up with. They taste like nothing at all, which for me is great, because that means anything I'm going to add to it, that's the flavor I'm going to get. So in this one we're going to have a little bean, little feta cheese, some crunch with the romaine lettuce. I don't really think romaine lettuce has any flavor to it, unless you grill it. Every once in a while you can do that. So this is 4 servings. So basically I'm putting 7 servings into this one bowl right now. That's pretty much what I'm going to add here, although I was debating just to add a little bit more crunch, some almond slivers. And you know what? Let's go nuts. A little bit of almond slivers. And I'm just going to do a handful. Whatever that means, I don't know. Almonds are a superfood. And this has 0 seasoning other than the feta cheese, which is salty. I didn't do the light feta cheese. This is real feta cheese. This is Greek feta cheese, although it's the Stop and Shop brand. But this is good feta cheese. And if you don't use a lot of it, it brings good flavor. You know, a little salt that you need there. So what am I going to add here? This is the Annie's shiitake sesame dressing. There's not much left here, so I'm just going to pour that whole bad boy in there. It's the Opa dressing. Take Shape for Life is fans of this dressing. Getting some direction skills here, because I've never done this before. You're going to get a magical link on the screen or somewhere where you can touch or tap or click or think about, and all of a sudden, boom, you're there. And this is the feta dill. So following the feta cheese, feta dill. So here we go. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. All of a sudden I'm singing like I'm on... Alright, go ahead a little bit. Like I'm on Sesame Street or something here. We are eating for fuel. We're not necessarily eating because this is a chocolate cake. This is eating because we know this is good for me. I would recommend looking into the mung beans. If you can eat them, which I'm going to eat them, the counts are pretty awesome. There is quite a bit of protein inside of a mung bean, and I had no idea. So keeping it simple. Alright, so there's our salad, which we're going to put aside, and then our meats. So here I've already sectioned out 4 ounces of filet mignon. Again, this is not normal for me, but I'm pretty psyched about having some beef in my life because I usually eat so much chicken lately anyway. I've already measured these out. These are 4 ounces, so we're going to put those into little containers. And then I've also got my chicken here. Like I said, I have cooked beyond death. Nice and crispy. It's kind of like chicken jerky, but that's the way I like it. Cut that out. For this, I'm looking at maybe 6 ounces, what I'm looking for. So that's 2. That's going to be 4.6. And let's go for there. We're 5.6. 6.3. Close enough. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to do this for all the meats. I'm going to put 6 ounces of chicken in each one of the containers. I've already done the 4 ounces of beef because I want to have that a little bit less, since beef is not necessarily the greatest thing you can eat, but these cuts are pretty darn lean. I mean, there's hardly any fat on here. When the next time I come back, you'll see all the plates all nice and neat and geometrically perfect because I have a little bit of OCD and we'll just carry through on that. Okay, so the other thing I did is I had baked some sweet potato. So I had only 2 of them, and I cut them into the best 7ths that I could, and then put those in there. And then I also added in, recently I watched a video about the importance of Brazil nuts, and apparently a lot of bodybuilders are really into them. I'm not calling myself a bodybuilder. Let's make that very clear. I don't really know where I'm going with this. I just like living. There's my son. I just like lifting heavy right now. I'm into it. It puts me into another place. It's a very simple task. It's basically pick this up, kind of simple stuff. I have a job that's pretty complex, lots of moving parts, blah, blah, blah. My boss and I joke, calling about all the bits and bobs that I handle, and it really is a lot of bits and bobs, and making sure that things are moving in a certain pattern, and a lot of gears and cogs and yada, yada, yada. So I'm sure everybody out there has jobs that are complex too. Mine happens to be very complex. So going to the gym and having a task of just lift it up is really simple, so I'm kind of digging that. And as a successful item today, I did pass a threshold in my pull-ups. I've been trying to lift up my entire body, wide grips, and I've been stuck at 4 reps for a long time, and today I finally did 5. So, and they were perfect. Like the 5th one was a perfect one. The 6th one, no good. The 6th one, I jumped up and did a negative on it. So these are just things that, you know, we work on, and we work in these little steps, and like my hashtag kind of says, you got to trust the process. Back to the Brazil nuts, I added 1 Brazil nut per meal, okay? So in this meal, just alone with protein, is about 46 grams, which is what I'm shooting for. The new rule of thumb, the old rule of thumb was 1 gram of protein per 1 pound of body weight, whatever your weight was. And now the consensus is, unless you're really like, you know, a Ronnie Coleman, you know, Rich Piana or something like that, you are doing 1 to 1.5. So I'm roughly, this morning I was 193 point something. So I'm looking at somewhere just under 300 grams of protein, just under that to consume every single day. So that's quite a bit. And I'm working on it, and sometimes I don't hit the 200 mark because, you know, life interrupts life. So that is kind of the tough aspect of what we're trying to do. We're trying to like have this to lean on, to be consistent with, so that we can actually live our lives and do other things. It's the John Lennon thing, you know, life happens in between planning. So these are my meal plans. Life's going to happen all around this as much as it is. So that's as far as protein. As far as carbs, so here we have the mung beans. The mung beans, I remember one serving was 33 grams of carb, which is a lot, but 21 of those grams was fiber carbs, which was awesome. So you're going to be pooping, you know, an hour later, which is good. Got to keep that cold and clean. Hey. So 55 grams of carbohydrates, 46 grams of protein, and that comes out to actually a nice little that's a nice 100 grams. What's the IFM? If it fits my IIFYM. IIFYM. If it fits my macros, or your macros, whichever. So there you have it, about 100 grams, and that's one meal, and I will eat that, and I will eat again 2 or so hours after I eat this. All right, so that's going to take care of the meals that I'm going to eat. In between all this, I need some real veggies, and on a whim, I picked up some dried vegetables. And we have had these guys, hopefully that's focused. These are green bean chips. They look real. This looks like a legitimate green bean, as opposed to Snap Pea Crisps. Well, that's like calling over a cat. These are not real in the sense of this isn't a real bean. I don't know if you guys know this, but they take snap peas, they mash them up, they mix them with starch of some sort, and then they form them into these. So this is not a real bean. I used to think that these were like freeze-dried and they just look this way, but no, this is a man-made kind of thing. They're really good. It's basically a potato chip, so it is what it is. These, however, I am 99% sure, which is as good as you get on the internet, that this is a real bean that's been dehydrated. Very lightly salted. Taro root, okra, which my wife says is still slimy, peas. The peas, however, are quite salty, so what I did was I took them all and made little packets. So I will be taking these to work as my in-between snack. I'm hoping that the vitamins are still in there, but it's kind of just a crunch factor to keep the body rolling. So there's the meals for at least the next few days, and on top of that, the company I work for is able to feed their staff, which is really a bonus to the staff. I mean, there's just food all over the place. There's fresh fruit. If you want some nuts, go ask somebody in the client services department and someone will get you some nuts. Sometimes they'll just bring me out. Ba-dum-bum, thank you very much. And that's about it. So here goes to another week of hard work, getting up at 5:15 in the morning, getting to the gym bench by 5:35, sweating until 6:30, getting my tushy here at 6:40, and then getting the kids dressed and fed and helping my wife with whatever she needs. Good rule of thumb, before you leave, every husband should try to do this. Get the dishes clean. Take out the garbage, or at least make sure it's clean and that's not too full. Get the kids fed, okay? And if you have a cat, try to do the cat litter. If you do those four things every morning, which I usually do like 3 out of the 4, you're in pretty darn good shape with the wife. Okay, all right, good luck. That's my husband tip of the day, whatever. All right, trust the process. Seriously, just trust the process. Bye-bye. Anything to say? Any wise words there, Mr. Randy Pants?
Randy, you want to get in the video real quick? We can always cut it out.
Always fool around.
Always fool around. You know what? Always fool around.
That's the new hashtag.
Hashtag always fool around.
Use your tablet.
Might take you to a different site than what we're talking about with some food and some nutrition. But I guess what that does mean is always have fun.